So, welcome to Instrumentation and Control channel. Today our topic is temperature element control, that is RTD, how it works, RTD working principle, and how to check the calibration of the RTD, and how to calibrate or configure the temperature transmitter. So, what is the principle of RTD? RTD stands for resistance temperature detectors. It operate on the principle that if the resistance of a metal changes uh, with with the temperature, means if the temperature increases, resistance will increase, and if the temperature decreases, resistance will decrease. So this is called positive temperature coefficient. RTD is a positive temperature coefficient. Uh, So you can see here the typical RTD how it's look like in industry. So this is the element, and this is the terminal part. This is the cable gland, and this is the cross sectional view of the RTD. Here a RTD bulb is there, and this is a two-wire RTD. So two wire are shown here. You can see if you give the temperature here, so the resistance of the RTD bulb will increase, and that resistance is converted by the controller into the electrical signal, that is heat to resistance, resistance to again in temperature. So now question is that why platinum wire is used in RTD. If you know already that platinum wire is used for the RTD purpose. Why? Now, platinum has an excellent corrosion resistance. It can withstand the chemical resistance and excellent long-term stability. It has a long-term stability. Over the period of time, it shows the um, perfect characteristic. So no deterioration will be found in the long term. That is called the stability. And the measurement range of the RTD also very good, that is minus 200 to 850 degrees C. And you can see here the trends for the RTD is linear. This is linear trend. So that is also the reason why platinum is used for the RTD. But RTD is expensive, very much costlier. So what is the alternative of RTD? Yes, there is an alternative. That is nickel RTD. But nickel RTD also very good resistance, corrosion resistance. It can withstand the chemical resistance also. But problem is that nickel RTD is not linear like the platinum RTD. So that's why platinum RTD is used very popular in industry. Now you can see the loop of the RTD, how it is connected with the DCS. I have shown here the two possibilities how it is connected to the DCS. So this is your RTD. This is the terminal. You can see three wires are there. This is a three-wire RTD. One is white, another two is red. These two red wire is internally connected. So the resistance between these two lead wire will be less than 1 ohms, and you can see this white wire. See this white wire. This white wire is connected to the resistance RTD resistance. So you will get some resistance according to the temperature in between the red and white. So this depends on the temperature. So now this RTD is now connected through this line. You follow this line like connected to the DCS directly. So the resistance is going to the DCS. Now there is another option. RTD can be connected to the temperature transmitter, and this temperature transmitter converting the resistance to 4 to 20 milliamps. 4 to 20 milliamps. When there is a long distance between the field and the DCS control room, so there is a possibility of resistance change over the long distance. So to avoid that, for long distance controlling system, you can put one temperature transmitter in between the field and the DCS. So it will be 4 to 20 milliamps converted. RTD output is resistance, so you can easily measure through the multimeter. Here you can see the how terminals are look like. This is the white wire, actually white wire, this white wire, and these two are the red wires, these two red wires. In between these two red wire you will get around 0 to 1 ohms, and each with the red lead with white you will get some resistance. So now what is PT100 and PT1000? These are the two types of RTD generally used in industry. One is PT100. PT100 means at 0 degree C temperature, the RTD will give you 100 ohms resistance. And PT1000 means at 0 degree C, the RTD will give you 1000 ohms. So around 10 times. Now see, for the both PT100 and PT1000 sensors, linearity of characteristic curve and operating temperature range, response time, all are same. Temperature coefficient of the RTD also same for the both PT100 and PT1000. But the difference is that suppose for PT100 measurement error is plus 1 degree C. For the PT1000 it will become zero point 0.1 degree C. This was 1 degree C, this is 0.1 degree C, because PT1000 is 10 times more than PT100, multiple means factor, higher by the factor. So this will reduce by the 10 error. So the PT1000 is more accurate than the PT100. So PT1000 generally used for two-wire configuration for the long distance, because it is a very much accurate than the PT100. So for the long distance, PT1000 will be better choice. PT1000 sensor is better for battery operated also. Why? This PT1000 resistance is more, so the current consumption will be less, and also PT1000 uses less power. So this so this can be operated by the battery also. PT1000 normally used for the laboratory purpose, for refrigeration, heating, ventilation, etc. for its accuracy concern. So now, what is the temperature coefficient of the resistance? To convert the resistance into the temperature, there is some formula. For that, you have to you have to know that what is the temperature coefficient of resistance. That is denoted by alpha. Alpha is equal to resistance at 100 degree C minus resistance at 0 degree C. For PT100, resistance at 0 degree C is 100 ohms. So this will be 100. And divide by resistance at 0 degree C means this will be 100 ohms into 100. So this is the formula. Now you can see there are two types of temperature coefficient. One is called older US standard, that is 0.00392, and for newer European standard, that is 0.00385. In our industry practice, we usually use this temperature coefficient 0.00385. Both are applicable for PT 100 and PT 1000. Same. So for RTD, I'll show you the lead wear effect. Now you consider this is a two-wire RTD. Ignore this resistance now. This is connected directly to the RTD, and the resistance of the RTD you get 177 ohms. Okay. Now we will calculate how much temperature will be according to 177 ohms. So I have shown you the formula. R177 means this 177 ohms divided by resistance at 0 degree C, that is 1000 for PT 100, minus 1 divided by temperature coefficient 00385, that will be 200 degree C. So for 177 of RTD, temperature is 200 degree C. Now consider due to the length of the RTD lead, this lead resistance is 5 ohms increased, and this resistance also of the lead is 5 ohms. So now you can see these 5 ohms, these 177 ohms, these 5 ohms, all are in series. So the equivalent resistance of the RTD will be 187. 177 plus 5 plus 5, that is 187, divided by resistance at 0 degree C, that is 100 ohms, minus 1 by alpha, that is temperature coefficient, that is 0.00385, that will be 225.974. So the actual temperature is 200 degree C, but due to the lead wear, it is showing 225.974 degree C. So 25.974 degree more. So this is an error. So this is called lead wear effect. So now, according to lead, there are mainly three types of RTD: two-wire RTD, three-wire RTD, four-wire RTD. So two-wire RTD, no lead wear compensation. You can see directly connected to the RTD, no lead wear compensation. This is two-wire RTD. For three-wire RTD, there are three leads, two main leads, and one is third lead is for compensation. And for four-wire RTD, the two main lead, and these are the compensation lead for four-wire. So four-wire is more accurate because for this lead one compensation lead is there, and for this lead also one compensation lead is there. So this is a more accurate. So identification, how you can identify the RTD lead. So these are the main leads, for example 1 and 3, 2 and 3 also. So you will get resistance between 1 and 3 and 2 and 3 or 2 or 4 around 107 to 110 ohms, because our ambient temperature is around 30 to 36 7 degrees C. Due to this, the resistance will get 107 to 110 ohms between 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, and 3 to 1. And the resistance between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 will be less than 1 ohms. So this way you can identify the leads. So this is the Houston Bridge circuit. So now I will show you the how controller converts this RTD resistance to electrical signal. So in bridge circuit, you know that four arms are there connected in bridge, basically for resistance. This Rx is unknown resistance, this R2 is variable resistance, and this R1 and R3. Rx and R3, Rx and R3, this is called ratio arm. R2 and R1, this is called ratio arm. And one galvanometer is connected in between D and B, and this is bias voltage. So when the bridge is in balance condition, balance, so current will flow like this, here to here to here, sorry, and current will flow like this, like this. It will flow not between the D and B, because the potential difference between the D and B is zero. So if there is no potential difference, current cannot flow through that path. So current will not flow. In balance condition, suppose now we consider this Rx is replaced by the RTD. This is your field, this is your controller part. So this is the RTD. RTD is connected in the place of Rx. Now if the RTD resistance changes, this time the circuit will be unbalanced. To balance this, you have to increase or decrease the R2, and the circuit will be balanced. Then current will flow like this, and no current will flow through the galvanometer. Now this is converted to the converted to the voltage using this equation. This way your controller converts the RTD resistance into the temperature. So what is the Wheatstone-Bridge principle for the case of three-wire RTD? So this is three-wire RTD is connected here. So you can see one arm is connected here, another arm is connected here, and the compensation lead is connected to this. Now if the resistance of the lead wire increases due to the length, this also increases due to the length, then this will be, the resultant will be cancelled out, because this and this lead are connected in the different arm. So this will be eliminated. This lead wire effect will be eliminated, and also this compensation lead is connected here. So it will compensate if this lead wire resistance is increased, but there is a problem for this lead. So that is eliminated in case of 4-wire RTD. In the 4-wire RTD, one arm is here, another arm is here. So and the lead wire is connected here, and another lead wire you see connected in opposite direction. So these cancel out each other. So this is the advantages of 4-wire RTD. So now this is the RTD, how to calibrate the RTD or thermocouple. The same procedure. You can see one RTD is inserted inside the temperature bath. This is a temperature bath. A temperature bath has a internal temperature element that can be thermocouple, that is connected to the temperature monitor or controller. And this RTD also connected to the temperature. Now if you change the set point, the temperature suppose to 100 degrees C. So the temperature will increase to 100 degrees C, and your RTD will show 100, 100.2, 100.1 degrees C, like that. If no difference between these two temperature, then your RTD is okay. If there is a large difference between this temperature element and this, there is a problem. You have to change the RTD. So same procedure for the thermocouple also. Okay, this is a temperature bath basically. So now what is thermo oil? It is a cylindrical fitting used to protect temperature sensor from the industrial process. See, your RTD is inserted inside a thermo oil, and a thermo oil is connected to the process line by the this flange. So this is called basically thermo oil. This is a hollow pipe. RTD inside the thermo oil. So it protects your RTD from the vessel temperature, pressure, all those things. So what are the advantages or comparison between the RTD versus thermocouple? You can see advantages of RTD is it has better stability, better repeatability, and accuracy level also high. For and disadvantages of RTD is that platinum cost is around two times more than the thermocouple, and also temperature range also limited. In industry, we around use for 400 degrees C, we use RTD. And another important feature is that for RTD, response time is slow. It is 2 to 4 times slower than the thermocouple. So if your process does not permit the slower response of the temperature element, then you have to install the thermocouple. Now, if you want to purchase a RTD, what is the basic spec for the RTD? One is the insertion length. How much length will be inserted inside the process or the thermo oil? So that length is very important. And this OD. If this OD is more, then you cannot insert this RTD inside the thermo oil. So this OD is very much important, and it is typically 8 mm, 6 mm, 12 mm like that. This thread connection also important. This can be NPT, can be other thread standard. So you have to mention this thread connection. This cable entry point. This is also very much important. How much means how much is the cable gland will be. For that purpose also this is very much important. So now you will see how to configure the temperature transmitter for RTD and thermocouple using HART. So these are two types of temperature transmitter. Rosemont 248. You can see the terminal details. These 2 and 3 for thermocouple, plus minus indicated, and this 1 2 3 4 for RTD connection, 4-wire connection, or you can connect 3-wire, 2 3 4 3-wire, or you can connect 4-wire for 1 2 3 4 2 3 for main resistance, and R and 1 4 and 1 for your compensating lead. And this is the plus minus output of the temperature transmitter. So it will convert the resistance or from the millivolt of the thermocouple to 4 to 20 milliamps. It is also same. So this is the loop, how it is connected. RTD connected to the temperature transmitter. This is the transmitter, and this loop is powered by 2-wire, either 24-volt DC power supply you can give, or your controller to the controller with 250 ohms series resistance. So I have already explained it in my HART video. You can refer there. And this is the multimeter connected in series to check the milliamps, and this is HART connected in this loop to configure. So this can be RTD or thermocouple. Both are same configuration. So connection I have already explained. So this is the bench setup flowchart. So for bench calibration, first we have to go to basic setup. After basic setup, you have to check, you have to configure the set sensor type. I will explain one by one. Then number of wires. Wires means 3-wire, 4-wire, like that. And type of sensor means RTD, thermocouple, etc. and set unit means degree C, Fahrenheit, Kelvin, like that. After that, you have to change the range value, transmitter range value. It can be 200 to 0 to 300, 400, depends on your criteria. Then the damping. This is damping. Damping means how frequent the transmitter will transmit the output depends on the damping value. It typically 2 second, 4 second, like that. So after that, verify if simulation sensor input is okay, then your you are ready for field install and mount transmitter, wire transmitter, power transmitter, and finish. So these are the basic steps. Now see. So this is the hard menu tree. How you can enter from home menu to any any menu to configure. So I will show you step by step. So first of all, you should know about the parameters. Basic parameters need to set for RTD or thermocouple. See, first, what is the sensor type? You have to understand. The sensor type is RTD or maybe thermocouple. You can enter into sensor type by configure guided setup. Then sensor type will come and you have to select RTD or thermocouple. If thermocouple, then K type, J type, S type, you have to select thermocouple type. Then if RTD, then you have to select PT100, PT1000, like that. After that, you have to select 2-wire, 3-wire or 4-wire. So then the important things is unit. Unit is degree C, degree Fahrenheit or Kelvin, anything. Then the PV configuration. PV configuration nothing but you have to set the LRV and URV. So you have to set the LRV value, URV value. This is the range of the transmitter. LRV may be 0, URV may be 200 degrees C, 300 degrees C, depends on your criteria. So this is the offset. In case of 2-wire RTD, there is no compensation for lead compensation. So then you have to put the lead resistance manually. If the lead resistance is suppose minus 1 ohms, you get 1 ohms by measuring the multimeter. Then you have to put minus 1 ohms. It will compensate manually. So for offset, you have to go through the device setup configuration, sensor configuration, sensor setup, wire offset, right? Then the basic parameter to set for RTD or thermocouple, that is sensor trim. If you see, controller has two basic part. One is sensor input goes to the AD converter, that is analog to digital converter. It converts the analog signal to digital conversion. Here input trim is done. Then this signal is going to the DA, means digital to analog conversion, and it ultimately goes to the 4 to 20 milliamps. And here the output trim is done to adjust the 4 to 20 milliamps. And for sensor input, to adjust the sensor input, you have to do the input trim. This is the difference between input trim and output trim. To go to the input trim, output trim, you have to go through the device setup, diagnostic service, calibration, sensor, trim, sensor, input trim. This is the path you can go. So to do the sensor trim, expose the sensor to a unknown temperature. So a known temperature. Suppose in temperature bath, you have put the temperature element and allow the temperature to be stabilized. After stabilization, use the bath. After stabilization, if your temperature is stabilized to the known temperature source, if there is a deviation, you can do the input trim there. Suppose your input sensor is around showing it is 200 degrees C, but it should be 210 degree. So then you have to do the sensor input trim. Okay. So then the output trim. Suppose your output is not matching with the value. Your 4 to 20 milliamps is not matching with the scale of the temperature. Suppose 0 to 200 degrees C your range, and your for 200 degrees C it will be 20 milliamps. It is not getting 20 milliamps. Then you have to do the output trim. So what is the loop test? The loop test is to check the loop whether it is okay or not. From HART protocol, you can select 4 to 20 milliamps. If you give the 4 milliamps, it should show in your controller or DCS the maximum scale according to 20 milliamps, or minimum scale according to 4 milliamps. Means 4 milliamps means it should show 0 degree, and 20 milliamps means it should show 200 degree maximum range, like that. So in this way you can do the loop test. So for loop test device setup, diagnostic and service test device loop test before performing the loop test. So after before finalize your transmitter, you have to do the loop test. This is mandatory. So now uh, for field communicator 475, you have to press the power on key first. This is the power on key. Then it will come to the home screen. That is HART. It will show the HART application. You have to click on the HART application. Then it will go through the this screen, and now it will show the process variable, diagnostic or service, basic setup, detailed setup, and review. Process variable means what is the value it is now showing, what temperature it is now showing, or what is the milliamps output. All those things you can see in the process variable if you click here. So now the process variable is showing that 40 degrees C, range in percentage is 25%, and offset is given 0 degree C. Analog output according to 40 degree C is 8 milliamps. So now again you back to the previous screen. Now we will do the basic setup. Click on the basic setup. Then configuration will come. Click on configuration. Then you click on the guided setup. Then you click on the configure sensor. Then you click on configure sensor type and unit. You have to put the sensor type here and unit here. So you can choose your PT100 or thermocouple etc. from this list and give the enter button. So now if you choose in the RTD, then you have to give 2-wire, 3-wire or 4-wire. You select 3-wire, for example, enter. Now the unit. You have to give the unit, degree C, degree Fahrenheit, Kelvin, etc. Enter. Now you back to the previous screen, and now configure sensor. You have to click. Configure the sensor. So it will show sensor class RTD, sensor type PT100, unit degree C. Again go to the basic setup. This is the basic setup. Now PV configuration. This is for selection the range of the transmitter. So it will come 0 or span. You have to give the 0 and span, means LRV or URV. So suppose already LRV is minus 200 degrees. For example, URV is 800 degree C. So you want to change LRV or URV, you click on this button. Then it will come like this. LRV is now minus 200 degrees C. If you want to change this, just click on it and type the value. For example, you can put 0 here. So it will take 0. Then press OK. So LRV you have set. This way you can select set the HRV value also, same way. So thank you very much for watching the video. Through this video, you can learn what is the RTD, what is the principle of RTD, how to configure the temperature. Thank you very much. If you like the video, you can subscribe. Thank you. Thank you very much.